You have entered the hidden scenario area. Would you like to participate in the hidden scenario, the Kim Dokja Game? Han Myung-ho stared at me and muttered in a dumbfounded manner. What is going on? I stared at BU. Bah? BU repeatedly shook her head. It wasn't BU who did this. Most hidden scenarios were activated according to the will of the star stream, just like the main scenario. Then why at this time? A subsequent system message gave a hint. The owner of the industrial complex is currently absent. An emergency promotion scenario was activated. It seemed I had been away for too long. I think the star stream has determined that I have no intention of inheriting the Duke's position. Is it okay now that you're here? That would be good. The scenario remained unchanged after I entered the industrial complex. Maybe the Starstream scenario was twisted by the impersonation act that Yoo Jung-hyuk and I committed. At the time, there was a message that an error had occurred. What is the Kim Dokja scenario? Is it a free participation game? Jang Hyung opened his eyes in the back seat and stretched. We are currently electing the real Kim Dokja of the industrial complex. At this rate, my name was going to be stolen. I turned towards Han Myung-ho and asked, will you participate? Why would I do that? What about you, Jang Hyung? I don't want to be Kim Dokja. His expression quickly changed and he seemed to be sulking. I don't know the Demon King of Salvation. In order to avoid reality, he had decided to separate me from the Demon King of Salvation. The last one I looked at was the Breaking the Sky Master. Woof woof. I nodded. Then, only I will join. Is it okay? You don't know what's going on. No matter what happens, I have to go. This is my industrial complex. Immediately after joining the scenario, a message window emerged. Hidden scenario, Kim Dokja proof of identity. Category, main. Difficulty? ? Clear conditions? Prove to the constellations of the Kim Dokja Industrial Complex channel that you are Kim Dokja. Time limit, 3 hours. Reward? Become the Duke of the Kim Dokja Industrial Complex and 200,000 coins. Failure? ? All aspiring Kim Dokja in the scenario will have the same appearance until the scenario ends. During the time limit, the aspiring Kim Dokja who receives the most points from the constellations will inherit the Kim Dokja Industrial Complex. It was the first time I had seen such a scenario. This scenario, naturally, wasn't in the original. A new aspiring Kim Dokja has entered. There are 3 hours left in the scenario. You must be acknowledged as Kim Dokja by most of the constellations. You are the 1,131st aspiring Kim Dokja. The scenario started and I was summoned to the outskirts of the plaza in the Kim Dokja Industrial Complex. There was already a struggle to prove that they were Kim Dokja. Haha! Everyone, don't you want to be recognized by the constellations? Show us that you are the real Kim Dokja. I heard the voice of a Dokubi. While I was away, the Bureau had successfully advanced into the demon world. It would be a hindrance to the Wenny people. In any case, they gathered like ghosts whenever there was a story. Bah! BU became determined and started to expand the channel. Multiple constellations have entered the channel. I looked around slowly at the other aspiring Kim Dokja. I am Kim Dokja. Look! I'm Kim Dokja! The aspiring Kim Dokjas had mosaics on their faces as they shouted. Perhaps I looked like this to the other constellations. Damn, something felt strange. Most of the inspiring Kim Dokjas were just repeating my name and not showing any unusual gestures. There were those who were blinded by the Duke's position and participated. However, not all of them were the same. I am the prophet Kim Dokja. I am the Demon King of Salvation. Some constellations are interested. Candidate 986 has gained 10 points. I stopped for a moment as I saw some candidates screaming Kim Dokja in a plausible costume. I am the king of a kingless world. A few constellations are interested in this candidate. Candidate 986 has gained 20 points. Oh, wasn't he quite good? I entered the center of the industrial complex and more people started saying plausible things. Some Kim Dokjas could be seen dueling. I wanted to know why this area was so bloody when I heard a message from a familiar constellation. The constellation Prisoner of the Golden Headband is arguing that Kim Dokja is a brave person. I was wondering why the great sage, the equal of heaven, was so quiet. He was already in the middle of the situation. There was a sound of a blade cutting through the air, and the aspiring Kim Dokja collapsed. A sharp magic power cut at the waist of another aspiring Kim Dokja. Some candidates fled, and the winning Kim Dokja shouted, "This is proof that I am Kim Dokja." A blade made of blue magic power was in his hand. I was honestly a bit surprised. A great number of constellations are interested in this candidate. Candidate 312 has gained 100 points. Candidate 312 wasn't using the white pure star energy, but it was similar in appearance. Candidate 312 glanced at me before starting to wipe out other candidates again. It was only a fleeting moment, but the moment I met his eyes, Eileen's words went through my head. Since the Duke left, I have been struggling with the other industrial complexes. The party members handle it well. I had a rough idea of how things turned out like this. Some of the aspiring Kim Dokjas were here from other industrial complexes. In other words, there were those who received sponsored information about me and posed as Kim Dokja. My mind was a bit complicated. If I was defeated in this game, the wrong Kim Dokja would enter the Demon King selection. A few constellations are interested in you. A few constellations are demanding you prove you are Kim Dokja. How could I prove my identity? I had no resident registration or identification card to prove myself. The constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire says true Kim Dokja loves comradeship. Uriel. I was about to shout at her when a candidate in the center of the square knelt down and started crying. Yu Jung-hyuk! Yu Jung-hyuk! Please wake up! Please wake up! Kim Dokja screamed as he held the imaginary Yu Jung-hyuk in his arms. I couldn't help laughing. I didn't do such a thing. Uriel couldn't be fooled by such acting. The constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire is shedding tears. Constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire is begging you to show her again next time. Candidate 32 has gained 300 points. I couldn't believe it. I shook my head and passed Candidate 32, only to hear an unexpected statement. The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon claims that the real Kim Dokja is a Chuni. Abyssal Black Flame Dragon? When did he come? The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon claims that the real Kim Dokja surely knows the true middle school second-year syndrome. A true Chuni? I think I knew what happened. Surprisingly, at the same time there was a candidate who started shouting, Yu Sangashi, do you know? I'm a reader. I have the life of a reader. My thoughts became incredibly complicated. It was a story before the scenario appeared. How did he know? No, wait, I never said it that way. The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon is satisfied. The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon has given candidate 300 points. I felt desolated and my lips were trembling. At this rate, I would lose my name to these ridiculous people. I should think calmly. In order to show that I was Kim Dokja, I needed to remind them of the event shared by only me and the constellations. Get your hand off me and get lost, you damn jerk. Candidate 32 has gained 200 points. Something only the constellations and I knew. I had to smile like this. Candidate 97 has gained 250 points. The constellations and I. My favorite thing is a Chinese dress and garter belt. Candidate 312 has gained 400 points. Damn, what the hell was happening? I organized my complicated thoughts and decided to use an easy method. I would directly inform them that I was Kim Dokja through the Demon King of Salvation's indirect message. During the course of the scenario, the constellation Demon King of Salvation can't speak. Son of a bitch. There is 1 hour left in the scenario. There wasn't much time left now. I quietly held unbroken faith in my hand. There was a limit to the number of aspiring Kim Dokjas. If I killed all the aspiring Kim Dokjas, the last candidate would become the true Kim Dokja. However, I didn't want to use this method. They were currently blinded by power, but most of them were citizens of my industrial complex. I sighed and shook my head as I gripped and released the hilt of my weapon repeatedly. These actions aren't like you. To my chagrin, Yu Jung-hyuk was right. Kim Dokja would never solve things this way. I thought about it. How do I prove my identity? No, what did it mean to prove I was me in the first place? At this time, there was a sudden change. This is electrification, the ultimate technique taught by the Paradox Bok Chung. Candidate 312 shouted while holding a lightning sword. I was about to point out that it was Paradox Bok Chung, not Bok Chung when lightning struck from the sky. Whack! The blue-white lightning hit the candidate's blade and tore his body apart. Some candidates screamed and retreated while some constellations liked it and randomly gave points. At the crucible of the confusion, I looked up at the sky. Something small was falling from the sky. I thought it was time for him to come, but I didn't expect it to be this fast. The small dot that gave off huge pressure landed in the square of the industrial complex with a deafening roar. The blue-white light flooded the square. A small man stood in the center of the lightning and emitted a huge presence. Sparks flew as a voice was heard from the dust. "Where is my disciple?" After a while, the appearance of the voice's owner was revealed. Many constellations are astonished. The small man didn't care if the constellations were astonished or not. There were some constellations who realized the identity of the man. This small body. Wait, don't tell me. They glanced at each other and then fell down in front of the man. Me? I am Kim Dokja, teacher. Numerous Kim Dokjas fell down in front of the small man. I looked at them and clicked my tongue. It was good that they were quick-witted. However, it would be better if their bodies could move faster. The Kim Dokjas were attacked by the blue-white lightning and turned to ashes. I looked at the teacher, kind enough to personally come pick up his disciple, and realized something. I see. In the first place, I wasn't something that could be proven. Your unique story will be played. The story of Returnee's disciple has begun. It was because I was made up of things that didn't only belong to me. Amidst the fleeing Kim Dokja, there was one person who knew the real Kim Dokja. Where is my real disciple? If I came forward, I would be ripped apart like the other fakes. And I heard a familiar voice. Damn, what is this? Are they all Kim Dokjas? I looked back and saw Jang Hayoung grumbling. I spoke to Jang Hayoung. Jang Hayoung. He looked over with surprise after hearing his name and flinched back with surprise. Kim Dokja? I nodded and asked, Did you learn the Breaking the Sky swordsmanship? Of course I learned it. Why? I smiled and spread open my arms. Use it on me now.